Yeah, I tend to kind of agree. But we're fast forwarding to 2020, the 2021 season. I don't want to waste any more time about this. Kevin Durant, obviously, big free agent acquisition now. You're a long time Nets fan, so I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this really quickly. You kind of been on it by saying you thought that Kevin Durant was going to sign with the Nets, even dating back to years in which people thought that, oh, he might stay with Golden State, he might go to the Knicks, the Celtics were kind of thrown out a little bit, When did you know personally that Kevin Durant probably could become a member of the Brooklyn Nets? Because honestly, I really didn't know where he was going to go. Kevin Durant, he kind of, is all over the place about his feelings sometimes. He's a little moody at times, but great player. He's my favorite player of all time. But when did you kind of know that Kevin Durant was probably going to be leaning towards the Nets over the New York Knicks? I do think he made the right choice, no doubt, because I think the Nets are definitely building something. But when did you think that Durant could become a Brooklyn Net realistically?
Realistically, probably at the beginning of last season. I saw that we had hired a lot of the guys that have worked out with him in OKC, and we even had the surgeon that did a lot of his surgeries when he was in OKC. And so once I saw that, I saw what the team was building. Then when the Kyrie rumors started to come around that he wanted to be with the Nets, that's when I was like, okay, this is legit. This is going to be a legit thing that they can have a chance to go get him this year. And for them to go out there and really get him and bring him into this organization and really build the organization around him, I think they've done a fantastic job so far.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, I'm going to list off kind of my expectations for Kevin Durant. Then obviously I want to get your thoughts. Personally, I think Kevin Durant is going to, at worst, return to being one of the top 5 players in the game of basketball. The last time that he was seen, I believe that he was at least 1A or 1B to LeBron James. It was LeBron, Kevin Durant, pick or choose whoever you think is the best player in the world. It was those two guys, no doubt about it. I expect Kevin Durant to potentially maybe take the title as the best player in the world undisputedly if he could bring a title to Brooklyn, when it comes to Kevin Durant, I think that he'll be about 90% of what he once was. Obviously, an Achilles injury is a very serious injury, but when you look at Kevin Durant, his game is not specifically relied on a whole lot of, explosion or athletic ability like a Russell Westbrook. He relies on getting to his spots, using those angles. He's obviously a very good athlete. He can dunk the basketball, get to the hole, whatnot, but he just kind of, relies on his jump shot. He likes to get to his spot, pull up from the mid-range, he can shoot the 3-ball. He's one of the best shooters in the game of basketball. So I think that Kevin Durant is still going to be that great player that he once was. And there's really no weakness to his game. Now, I do think that his defense will kind of take a hit because I think that one thing that really separated him when he was in Golden State was he really upped his defense. He was a good defender in OKC, but I kind of thought that he kind of got robbed for some defensive, player of the year votes. He was playing some really good defense, protecting the rim, playing a really good defense, So what are kind of your expectations for Kevin Durant? Do you pretty much agree, or what are some of your concerns?
I agree. I think around March, April, I think that's when it will start hitting its stride. I think the Nets are going to be really careful with him, make sure that he doesn't get injured, make sure there's no re-aggravating injury or anything like that. So I think March, April, that's when he'll really start to see that Kevin Durant. And I think he'll average around 25, 27 points. I think Kyrie will make a lot of things easier for him. I think Joe Harris, I think they have a lot of guys that KD can take an off night, honestly, and the Nets will be okay. He doesn't need to be forced to play certain games and make certain plays because of how many people they got around him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that Kevin Durant is really super motivated by coming to the Nets. Obviously, he did get his titles in Golden State. He played phenomenal in those back-to-back NBA Finals. I personally think that the Golden State Warriors would have three-peated as NBA champions had he have not gotten injured, And I think Kevin Durant really thought that he didn't get the credit that he felt he deserved. Now, personally, I felt that he was arguably maybe the best player in basketball, but I understand some people pushing back saying, hey, he joined a 73-win team and whatnot, but I think that most people realize, hey, he was great. He showed how good he is at basketball, no doubt about it, but I think that a lot of people, want to see him maybe go to a team where there's not a Steph Curry that's, established a culture there before, where we could say Kevin Durant was arguably the best player on the team, but did he set the tone? Was he that leader? I think that Kevin Durant is going to be super motivated. He's going to prove a lot of people wrong. And, spoiler alert, I think that he's going to win the Nets NBA title, one day. So take it or leave it. Do you believe Kevin Durant will win the Nets a title at some point? You got to probably say yes, man.
Yes. Honestly, I don't want to say he has to, but I think he, like you said, he's so motivated, more motivated than he was before coming off the Achilles. Maybe feeling that he has to prove himself again. Definitely, like you said, people get on him for going to Golden State, which I was also one of those people. But at the same time, I understood it because you haven't won, you want to be able to win. And so going to Golden State, I think he was able to take that next level, especially defensively, like you said. He was honestly probably the best defender behind Draymond. And that's something that I think he'll bring to this organization with the Nets, and real gritty attitude that the Nets need on offense and defense.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.